Irma is still a tropical storm over the southeastern United States, and Jose is a hurricane getting a little bit too close for comfort to the Bahamas. I'm Mike Nasa with the latest on the tropics. We're still watching Irma, obviously, after striking the Florida Keys as a Category 4 hurricane and then making landfall near Marco Island as a Category 3. It's now a tropical storm, 50 miles per hour, with higher gusts moving north-northwest at 17, 985 millibars, still a pretty low pressure because it's a very powerful storm. And you can see its forecast through midweek to continue to move into the United States, more towards the Ohio Valley, and continue to weaken. However, just because it's weakening doesn't mean you don't still have onshore flow of storm surge in the South Carolina all the way down to the North Florida coast, as well as further south still in southwest Florida with an onshore flow. So storm surge is a concern as well as the heavy rain. You can see they're still predicting 2, 4, 5 inches of rain in areas of Tennessee, Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia. You guys are getting heavy rains. In fact, when we look at the radar right now, you can see the cloud shield, the rain shield rather, extending almost into Kentucky and Virginia. And you can see the back half of the hurricane tropical storm now is rather dry. However, it's still pulling onshore winds, including to the west coast of Florida. There was some significant water rise earlier that I heard on Twitter because of the onshore flow of this hurricane. So we still have to wait for it to pass before those winds eventually calm down a bit. There's a beautiful visible satellite imagery. You can see clearly a deteriorating tropical storm, but still an impressive cloud shield going all the way up into Michigan, where I'm up in Ohio. We're getting the beautiful cloud deck from the circulation of Irma. Just a tremendously historic Atlantic hurricane that took a very long track off Africa, becoming a major hurricane very quickly, wanting to turn out to sea but getting forced west-southwest because of strong high pressure right into the northern Leeward Islands and the Virgin Islands as a catastrophic record-breaking Category 5, and then through the Turks Caicos into Cuba, and then as a Category 4 into the Keys, and then a Category 3 into the southwest coast, still spreading tropical storm force winds as of the 5 o'clock advisory all the way through North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and North Florida. A very, very prolific Atlantic hurricane. Now we still have Hurricane Jose as of 5 p.m. Jose was at 26.4 north, 69.2 west. Still 100 miles an hour, a powerful hurricane, but not the Category 4 it was a couple of days ago. It's moving north at 11, 973 millibars. You can see the forecast here is to weaken a little bit and loop around throughout the week, and by Saturday begin to re-intensify a bit somewhere here north of the northern Bahamas. But again, it could be anywhere within this cone area, so everybody has to be on the alert. Obviously, with what happened with Harvey and Irma, everybody is very tense. The computer models are not helping out. The UK Met has it making landfall in 5 days along the Florida East Coast, and of course the H-Wharf model has it over the Abaco Islands. Most of the other models are further to the east. However, we're going to have to keep a close eye anywhere from the Florida coast all the way up to the Carolinas and New England, just because if this does loop around and start to approach at a closer speed than we thought, we could be dealing with a potential impact. But there's a lot of time to watch it. You can see it does not look good at all on the satellite imagery. The center is losing convection. The pattern it's trying to fan out, but it's just getting too much wind shear. Here are the Bahamas, of course, off to its west, and Jose is starting to make that northerly curve to loop around eventually. The obvious reason is not water temperatures. The reason is the strong shear from the east side of Hurricane Irma, or what's left of Irma, is just shearing Jose like crazy. However, once it loops around, it might be able to find a little bit of a safe harbor for strengthening in about 4 or 5 days. So we will continue to watch it, and I'm sure everybody along the East Coast will keep a close eye as well. Well, that's the latest on the tropics right now on September 11th, one day after the peak of the hurricane season, when we had a Category 4 landfall in the Florida Keys. I'm Mike Naso, and I'll see you guys next time.